Here, folks. The article scan. Canadian mortgage impairments surge, homeowner or investor in trouble. Both are in trouble. Foreign investors from China that laundered their money in Canadian real estate thinking it was going to keep going up. Unfortunately, it's over. It's drying up. Homeowners and investors are in trouble. Canada's central bank is performing a dangerous balancing act. The Bank of Canada latest financial stability report shows mortgage impairments surged in Q1 of 2025, enough to trigger internal alarms, but not enough to consider a problem. Again, they're going to wait for it to... Canadian banks see mortgage impairment surge 65% from lows. And again, this is when we got the historical lows. And we warned people back in 2020 to stop signing up for those interest-only mortgages and 1% mortgages and 0.9% jumbo mortgages that when they do raise rates, you won't be able to afford to pay it back. And Canada had to do this to compete with Chinese money laundering because the Canadian citizens could not get into their own market, right? And the hidden time bomb, Bank of Canada downplayed mortgage issues. They have to downplay these issues because it's going to cause mass hysteria and people are going to get very suicidal and very pissed off that they weren't told. But we were telling you guys here from 2008 until our first channel termination in 2012, which we continue to tell you. And yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. And Canadian mortgage borrow stress, home buyers or investors. And I think it's both sides. If over-leveraged investors are responsible for the rise in mortgage impairment, this won't be the first time the public was misled on the data. The U.S. subprime mortgage crisis was blamed on easy credits given to low-income borrowers with bad credits. An in-depth study found that borrowers with subprime credit only saw a slight uptick in defaults. The surge was mostly multi-property investors with prime credits who used subprime lenders for more leverage. Now, in late 2024, the Chinese money laundering started to dry up, right? So this is becoming a problem. It goes back to our 2018 and 2012 and 2014 video over and over again. Canada needs more money laundering, more Chinese money to help Canada grow because our economy is built strictly off of money laundering and fentanyl. And rising unemployment, a harsh reality of the trade war, experts say. Bull BS. We've always been paying importing fees in Canada. We've been paying all kinds of fees in Canada just to operate like my small business. No, this is Canada's fault because Canada should have produced its own stuff. We have the minerals, we have the manpower, we have so many unemployed Canadians that nobody wants to hire because they're white, that could get those jobs and actually make things work again. But unfortunately, and I mean European expansion too, that are not being hired. So there's a lot of unemployed Canadians that would love to have these jobs of manufacturing things, exporting, logistics, take a smoke break at work, enjoy your evening with the family and not have to bring your stress home because you're working in a manufacturing plant. You don't have to, who cares? You know what I mean? And Canadian real estate slump deepens. RBC warns no rebound in sight. Well, unless Carney could facilitate more money laundering from somewhere else, Canada may have a chance to plateau its housing crisis. Because right now, they got to find another way, either launder or sell Canada to other foreign investors. But I don't know, because the Chinese propped up our housing market since 2010, since the 2010 Olympics. So I don't know. It's not the Canadian proper because incomes and wages are not tied to jobs. So the Canadian proper hasn't been contributing to the housing market. It's been foreign dirty money and fentanyl. But Canadian real estate markets are further buckling under trade war. Now, they're going to obviously trade war and Donald Trump is fault or whatever, telling investors that there's no near-term recovery. National data has yet to arrive, but they observe plummeting sales and rising inventory. So here we go right now. This is beautiful. Trade war fuels Canada. So they're going to blame trade wars, of course. And there it is. Vancouver. Oof. Wow. Fraser Valley, Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, and Montreal. You could see definitely Montreal's got some sort of a positive uptick, man. You're seeing this market freeze here. And the more expensive or the more heavy laundered areas, segments of Canada are seeing a correction, are seeing the correction they need to see, right? And boy, this boy right here, 17 becomes 6 suspect busted for arsons in York region. The group accused arsonists is believed to be responsible for setting 2 auto body shops ablaze. Now, why is this boy, 17-year-old boy, is now among 6 people accused of deliberately setting fires? Now, why are they doing this? Why? Because they got nothing to lose. It goes back to what we said. When you dominate people with violence or lies or misconception and they have nothing to lose, what do? They fight back. With arson, murder, robbery. They don't care. They got nothing to lose. What do they care? So we're at the generation of having a perspective, a future, or banking on a future, is now dissolving all over because nobody could keep up. And yeah. And what do people do when they can't? And they realize they got nothing left to lose. They just fight back. That's a quote from Furious 5, Fast and 5 Furious.